Did you not read about Elijah? Only Elijah lived in this world 4 times. He didn't know how he came. He came from nowhere and he went back to nowhere. Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, came to the king and said, before God whom I stand. And after Elijah was carried to heaven, we thought the story was over. And then a voice was heard in the wilderness, and he said, he shall come in the spirit and in the power of Elijah. And we thought that was over. Jesus was on the Mount of Transfiguration, and then Elijah came again and began to tell him what he will do in Jerusalem. As if that was not over, he said, there are 2 witnesses who are still coming. Elijah will come again. One man is so relevant that God has to bring him to the earth again and again and again. And we are bragging that we went to the United States.
That secret place, that's where I want to be.
Is it not the Bible that said, hear this, it is appointed to man to die once, then judgment? How come this Elijah, it looks as if he has become indispensable in the economy of God? I thought God is called the I am that I am. He depends on no one to be God. How come Elijah's dispensation can't finish? But Elijah finished 1 lifetime. God said, no, if you don't go back to earth, there will be trouble. We give you another lifetime. And he comes and executes a project and goes back. God said, you will still go back. What kind of man is that? Those are carriers of God. There's something they know. They are immortally and eternally relevant. No wonder God could not afford to put his body in death, because God will need to use him many times. Because God knew he was going to use him many times, he refused for him to die. Because if this body decays, I need you again. I need you. If you finish now, there will be problem in the world. And every time Elijah came, if he didn't come, there will be crisis on the earth. Because if he didn't come to announce the coming of Jesus, there will be no savior. If he didn't come to tell Jesus what to do in Jerusalem, there will be no cross. So the man was so important that the earth was shaped by his life and ministry. The ministry of the fullness. The question this morning is, how much of it?
Take me there, take me there.
Fullness have you received? But how much of it have you apprehended? And so the first thing we know about the ministry of the fullness is the fact that man is God's habitation, where God decides to put his totality in. But over and above that, in the technology of the fullness, we also want to know how to apprehend this fullness of God that is on our inside. Because all of God can be you, but you may never experience all of God. And so there's a technology for walking out the fullness of God in the life of a